Is it better to exercise in the morning or in the evening? This question is very complex, but the scientific community has done a lot of experiments. Let's take a look at some of the current views. Rat experiment: morning exercise to control blood sugar, evening exercise to lose fat. A study conducted in rats provides a new perspective on the question of whether it is better to exercise in the morning or at night, published in the journal Cell Metabolism by scientists from several countries. In the study, rats were placed in a rotating cage and run for 1 hour before being dissected. The researchers divided the rats into two groups, one that was put into exercise immediately after waking up in the morning and another that was exercised in the evening before going to sleep. A control group was also set up, and the rats in the control group were housed in similar cages, but the rotating cages were locked so they could not exercise as much as the previous two groups. The researchers then extracted hundreds of hormones and substances from the rats' blood, muscle, liver, brain, white fat and brown fat cells, and tested their levels one by one. In addition, the expression levels of several genes in the rats were evaluated in detail. What were the results? It was found that when the rats performed adequate physical exercise, regardless of the specific time period of the exercise, the levels of hundreds of substances in their bodies changed in parallel. A myriad of substances in muscle, liver and adipose tissue responded in unison, as if they were working in concert with each other. So, is there no difference between different times of exercise? No, the types and levels of substances that change do vary at different times of the day. After careful analysis, the researchers found that if the rats exercise immediately after waking up, the biochemical process of burning carbohydrates will be activated. In contrast, if the rats exercised before going to sleep, what was activated was a series of substances associated with burning fat in the body. Although we cannot completely distinguish between fat metabolism and carbohydrate metabolism, because the two are inherently complementary systems in mammals, the results show that higher levels of fat metabolism are beneficial for weight loss and higher levels of carbohydrate metabolism are beneficial for blood glucose control. When corresponding to the timing of exercise, uncritically, for rats, exercise after waking up is good for blood glucose control and exercise before going to sleep is good for weight loss. Although these conclusions were obtained in experimental animals, which have different physiological characteristics than humans, the researchers believe that the metabolic mechanisms observed in both are similar, which also provides clues to elucidate the different effects of exercise in the morning and at night. However, in real human experiments, we cannot carry out such a multi-metric system-wide analysis as for experimental animals, and there seems to be some contradiction between the findings of this experiment and similar studies that have been done so far. Human experiment: little difference in weight loss between morning and evening exercise. In 2019, an interesting study was conducted in the United States. Researchers recruited 88 volunteers who were obese, BMI 25 or above, and divided them into 4 groups to test the relationship between the daily exercise time and weight loss in each group. Of these 4 groups, the first group was scheduled to exercise between 7 p.m. and 12 p.m. The second group between 17 p.m. and 23 p.m. The third group had free exercise time, and the fourth group did not exercise at all. After 10 months, the researchers observed significant differences between the 4 groups. Those who exercised in the morning lost the most weight, while those who exercised in the evening lost a relatively small amount of weight. The difference between the two wasn't really that big, though, at about 5%. Remember the study we talked about earlier that was done on rats? The difference between these two studies, in addition to the difference in the subjects studied, is that the direct focus on the physical data was different. In the study on rats, the focus was not on body weight, but on blood glucose levels and fatty acid metabolism, among other things, not on actual body weight indicators. However, this is not difficult to explain, because the relationship between nutrient metabolism and body weight is more complex. For example, being overweight does not necessarily mean that your blood sugar levels are super high. Some people are thin but have very high blood glucose levels, while others look fat and have relatively low blood glucose levels. So it's not surprising that there are inconsistent results across studies, except to say that the human body is a super complex system and our understanding of our own body still needs to continue. Moreover, even in studies on body weight, it can be seen that the difference in weight loss from morning and evening exercise is not that great, so everyone should arrange the right exercise time according to their work and rest situation. Should we exercise in the morning or in the evening? According to current research, there is no need to worry about whether to exercise in the morning or in the evening, because several pieces of evidence prove that daily exercise is a good habit to increase healthy life expectancy. So how long should we exercise? We've done a lot of research on the benefits of exercise, and regular exercise should be done at least 3 times a week, preferably more than 5 times, extending for about 30 minutes each time. As for what type of exercise, it doesn't really matter. It should be added that the intensity of exercise should be adjusted with age to maximize the effects of exercise as much as possible. At the end of the day, whether you exercise in the morning or in the evening, if you exercise you're going to get something out of it. So don't worry about when to exercise, just get moving.